Welcome back to the channel. Guess where we are today? Jeremy Clarkson's pub. It's called the Farmer's Dog. Now, we've been trying a while to get here to book for a meal. You can come here and visit, and there's a shop here already, and I think you can have bar snacks, but to have the actual meal, it's taken us ages to get a table. So we're quite lucky to be here today. The purpose of this video is we're going to see if it's worth visiting, do a little bit of a walk around, show you what's here, and if the food's any good, and if it's fair value for price. So stick along, we'll show you what we can. Just to let you know though, it is extremely busy here. On arrival, the steward's already here telling you where to park, and there's cars absolutely everywhere. There is a pop-up tent with a shop, there is a restaurant, and there's a few other things, and I believe they're actually filming. We were told when we got here that Amazon were on site yesterday filming, so people are probably coming down here on chance of catching some of the cast. Anyway, that's enough talking. It's time to go and eat. So stick along watching this video and we'll show you what we got, how much it cost, and if it was any good. See you in there.
So, the menu. It is quite limited. So if you are a fussy eater, I would pause at this point and just make sure you like this style of food before booking the restaurant. The theme of this restaurant is British, and the menu does not let you down for that. You have gammon, bubble and squeak, steak pie, and sausages. Sadly, if you are a vegetarian, you have one option on this menu, which is the squash and pearl barley, though there is 3 starters that are potentially vegetarian. The restaurant itself, it was at capacity. Every single table was taken. Yet, despite it being that busy, it was still perfect atmosphere, not too loud, and overall an extremely comfortable setting to be having a meal. I had the braised ham hock and cackle bean egg for starter. And of course, I chose the most expensive item on the menu, the steak pie.
Just finished eating. So let's do a bit of a review. For starter, I had the ham hock with poached egg. It was absolutely fantastic. The only one thing I would say about it missing for me was the potato lacked a little bit of seasoning. It was just a new potato. I thought it'd be a bit of seasoning on it. But the ham was absolutely beautiful. The egg was cooked perfectly. You can see the yolk sort of fall out when you just touched it with a fork. Absolutely delicious for a starter. I think it was £9. Is it worth £9? Yes, I think the portion was actually pretty decent for a starter. And you've got to remember where we are, you know, who owns it, that sort of thing. But overall as a starter, I think it was pretty good. I would say that's probably a 8.9 out of 10. And remember, everything is sourced locally. So it's going to cost a little bit more than bulk cheaper products. So yeah, the starter, extremely good. On to the main. So for main, I had the steak pie, which was the most expensive thing on the menu. I think it came out at £21. I'll post the menu and more details in the description also. So the steak pie, again, very, very good. If I had to give some negatives about it, I'd say not enough gravy for me personally. That's preference. I like that kind of meal covered in gravy. And I thought there was a bit too much pastry towards the end, maybe because of the lack of gravy, it felt a little bit dry. But other than that, you know, how far can you take a steak pie? Well, the vegetables were brilliant. The one big carrot you got was just cooked perfectly, and it had a better taste. I don't know if again it's all sourced locally, and that's something to do with it. It's fresher, but the leek, the carrot, the vegetables were just absolutely delicious. I remember just taking the first bite of them thinking, bloody hell, vegetables shouldn't taste this good. And of course, when you open the pie, the beef was beautiful. It really, really was. And there was a solid amount of chunks in there. It wasn't sort of skimped portions. So the main was fantastic. Is it worth £21? Well, let's think of the location. We're down south. Well, to me, we're down south anyway. It's Jeremy Clarkson's pub. It's extremely busy. It's hard to get into. It's still busy in the week now. So £21 is a fair price, I would say, for that main. Again, you've got to think everything is sourced locally. It costs a bit more than these sort of bulk ingredients where they fill it with water and all that kind of stuff. This is locally sourced beef. And trust me, you know it's locally sourced here. You're reminded in every single part of your journey into this place and around this place. Overall, though, the main, again, I would say it's a solid 8. It needs a bit more gravy for me personally, and the pastry got a bit too much at the end. Again, it just felt dry towards the end, but that's probably the gravy issue. Overall, though, it was pretty good. So, let's give it an overall review. And what are my overall thoughts? Well, I think this place is 100% worth visiting. And not only because of the service, which is fantastic, by the way, the food, which is good, and everything around this place. It's beautiful, the scenery, and all that good stuff. I actually think, if you think about it, what Jeremy's doing here, whether you dislike him or like him, because he's a bit of a controversial character, he's supporting local goods. And like I say, it's made very clear when you walk in there. There's no ketchup, pepper, and all this sort of funny gimmicks saying it's British only, British only. All the drinks are British. Everything is local. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, and after watching this series, seeing how hard it is for farmers to make profit and how much of a graft it is, I actually think he's doing something really special down here. And again, he's a bit of a controversial guy. He says over the years, he said a few silly things, and people say he's doing it for self gain, this farmer stuff. But if you think about it, there is so many staff working here, the stewards and all the rest of it, and that's just this restaurant and just the tent over there, the pop-up tent. He's got a farm as well. Think about all the local employment, think about the tourism of this area and how busy it is daily. I think it's doing way more of a good than saying that is doing it for self-gain, and it's more of this sort of celebrity status thing. And if you speak to the staff, the ones we spoke to all love it here. They've said it's been an amazing journey for them. So you can imagine with Amazon filming and him coming down and all that kind of stuff, it's probably a pretty fun place to work. Overall, it's definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. And like I say, I think you are supporting good local causes and local farms and local produce, which, again, you know, you've seen in the paper all the dramas around farmers, and we all know how hard it is. So 100% he's doing a great job down here. One definitely would recommend, and I would definitely come back. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab a pork pie to take back with me in the car. So thank you very much for watching. Again, if you can like, comment, and subscribe, we do appreciate that. Catch you at the next one.